Hello, everyone, and welcome you especially to Speak French Fast Academy. I am super excited for you for this amazing journey you're about to begin, and I cannot wait to see the extraordinary things you're going to do in the next 1 to 3 months with the French language. Listen, I promise you, this is a promise. If you can make a decision, a firm decision, to stick 100% with integrity to everything we are going to tell you to do in the next 1 month. I'm not saying 3 months. I'm not saying 6 months. Just promise me to do everything we tell you to do. Don't try to cut corners. For the next 1 month alone, your French will be so good that those that studied French for 6 months in other language schools will envy your French after just 1 month here. After just 1 month here. So I'm going to warn you, this next 1 month is the most challenging part of your journey, especially the first 1 week. In fact, the first 1 week, the first 2 days, in fact, these are the most difficult hurdles. If you can overcome the first 1 week, because you're about to challenge everything you know about learning anything, the strategy, the vision, the system of learning here, 100% different from everything you have ever known. So a lot of everything inside of you is going to want to challenge this. Oh, this is too tiring. It's too much. I don't have too much time. You're going to have a lot of excuses are going to spring up. Fight these excuses. Tell yourself, I've seen people share massive testimonies. If this is what they did that helped them speak French fluently in 3 months, I'm going to forget whatever my brain is telling me and I'm just going to follow. I promise you, if you do this, in 1 month, you're going to make a phone call with me and we're going to be speaking only French. So 1 month, dedication, no cutting of corners. You're doing everything you're asked to do with integrity. So since we have that agreement, today we're going to begin with how to respond to common questions. So repeat after me. Common. Common. It's not comment. Common. Common. This is actually basic French. So we're trying to teach you when you meet people for the first time and they know you're learning French, or you meet anybody, they're always going to ask you a lot of common questions. Common simply means how in English. So when you meet anybody for the first time, even if they are not strangers, you're going to have a couple of how questions to ask. How are you doing? How is your family? How is your sister? How was work? How was the party? How is your day going? So we use how questions there is no day that starts or finish that you don't use how. Now I want to help you overcome this first hurdle. So the good news is that common means how. Now, having learned that, I want to teach you something very fundamental in French. There are two ways to address people in French. So when we say you in English, unfortunately it's just you in English. But in French, there are two ways to express you. In English, of course, you can say you are beautiful, you are awesome, you are tall, you are short, you are whatever. But in French, it's not that easy. We use in French either the word tu or the word vous. So we use tu. Tu is the informal form. So in French, you have two forms of expressing you. All right. So just like in Italian, in Spanish, even in Yoruba language in Nigeria, this also happens as well. So when you're speaking to someone who is your age mate or children or your colleagues at work, someone to whom you don't really owe much respect, you address them using tu. When you want to say you use tu. All right. For instance, tu es belle. You are beautiful. All right. However, we use vous to address people to whom we owe respect, like our bosses, our coaches, our mentors, people to whom we owe respect. So we address them as vous. For instance, instead of tu es belle, which is you are beautiful, you will tell them vous êtes belle. An entirely different conjugation. So having said that, tu is informal, vous is formal. All right. Haven't understood this different, you have to look at who is in front of you, what is their age. Are they people, even irrespective of their age, are they people that you are friendly with, like friends and all of that, family, or are they bosses, coaches, teachers, and the rest of that before you know what to tell them? Haven't learned that, let's delve in straight to asking common questions. So repeat after me. Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? Comment. There's something called liaison. It's called the link. When a word ends with consonant and the next word begins with vowel, in most cases there are exceptions. There's something called link in French, liaison. That's why it is comment allez-vous. So there's a liaison between the T and the A, becomes comment allez-vous aujourd'hui. Comment allez-vous means how are you. Aujourd'hui means today. Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? How are you today? Okay? So, and then you would reply by saying très bien, merci. Très bien, merci. Et vous, so repeat after me. First of all, comment allez-vous? Allez-vous? Now, comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? That's how to say how are you. All right. That's the vous version of what you say comment ça va to a friendly person or comment tu vas. All right. But we're going to use the vous because it's always better to use the vous since that is the formal form. Okay. It's always better to learn with the formal form because with the formal form you can hardly get it wrong. Okay. So, très bien, répétez. Très bien means fine. Merci. Merci means thank you. Et vous and you. So, très bien, merci. Et vous? Now, for now, at this level, très bien has to be your best friend. Très bien has to be your best friend. Okay, because très bien means either fine or very well. But let's just say fine. So, when you say très bien, merci means fine, thank you. Et vous and you? So, let's talk about très bien. Très bien is an expression which is fine, obviously, even in English, that you can use to respond to most common questions. If anyone asks you, how are you? How was your day? How was your party? Whatever, you can always say, fine, thank you. So at this point, don't rack your brain to try to say how to say, oh, my day was fine, or the party was beautiful, or da. For now, just learn how to say fine. So whenever you hear anybody say, come on, you already know they're asking about something. Pay attention to what they're asking about. What is following the come on? And then you can just tell them très bien. So très bien should be your best friend at this level. Don't crack your brain trying to answer a longer version. As time goes on, you will have the vocabularies for that. Okay. Now, très bien works for almost every common questions. But there are a few. The most important of them is this next question here that says comment vous appelez, which is what is your name. What is your name? It's a very weird kind of construction in French. That how found itself in the middle. All right. So comment vous appelez? Repeat after me. Make sure you repeat all three scores. Comment vous appelez? Comment vous appelez? Comment vous appelez? What is your name? And you reply by saying what? Je m'appelle. Put your name. Je m'appelle Casey. In this case, je m'appelle Marie. Et vous? So the question again, comment vous appelez? Make it faster. Comment vous appelez? Repeat. Comment vous appelez? What's your name? In this particular kind of comment, you can't give très bien. Someone can ask what's your name and you say fine. You have to give them your name by saying je m'appelle. All right. Other ways of saying comment vous appelez is comment appelez-vous? Comment vous appelez-vous? I beg your pardon. Comment vous appelez-vous is still the same thing. Comment vous appelez? Comment vous appelez-vous? Comment vous appelez? Comment vous appelez-vous? Those are all different ways of saying how what's your name. Obviously, the two form will be comment tu t'appelles. All right, that's the friendly form. So let us move on. Now, the next thing we are going to look at is the different forms of the tenses that can go with comment. Even in English, you can say, how is your family? How is your boy? How is your day going? You can say, how was the party? How was your birthday? How was, right? And then you can say, how are the children? How are? Let's explore what that means in French. So when you say comment va means how is. In the context of common questions, va means is. However, normally is in French, which is est. All right. But to ask comment va, the French uses the verb aller, which is the verb to go. So when we say comment va, it's like how is something going. You understand what I'm saying? So for this level, just understand that with comment, va means is. So whenever you hear comment va, it means how is. They're asking us something singular. For example, comment va la journée? How is your day going? Right? Comment va Casey? How is Casey? Comment va le travail? How is work? Now, comment vont? Répétez. Comment vont? Comment vont now is the plural form, which is how are. How are the children? Comment vont les enfants? How are the whatever? So comment vont? How about how was? So very early you are now also learning what was means in French. Was means était. Répétez. Était. So comment était? Comment était means how was. So when we say comment était means how was. And to any of these kinds of questions, you can always say what? Très bien, merci. works all the time, which is fine. Thank you. Et vous, and you? All right, let us explore these different tenses with the common. Let's start first of all with how is kind of questions. For example, comment va la journée? Répétez. Comment va la journée? Comment va la journée? La journée is day. Day. So when we say the day, normally, comment va la journée is how is the day, literally. But when you say comment va la journée, it means how is your day going? How is your day going? Comment va la journée? So when we say comment va, all you have to do is to add whatever it is you want to ask of. Comment va already means how is, then add whatever. Comment va la journée? How is your day going? Comment va le travail means work. That becomes how is work. Comment va l'école? L'école is school. That is how is school. Comment va la santé? Santé means health, which is how is your health. And you can even ask of somebody, comment va Sarah? Comment va Casey? How is Casey? Comment va Jerry? How is Jerry? Comment va whatever? Put anything there. How is comment va? You can ask anybody this question when you meet them for the first time, maybe during the day. Now let's go to comment vont. Comment vont les enfants, for example. Comment vont les enfants, which means how are the children. Comment vont, again, how are we asking for a plural, something that is plural. All right, comment vont les enfants? Les enfants means children. Comment on va répéter? Comment vont les enfants? Look at the liaison there, because S ends with a consonant and E in the enfant starts with a vowel. Then there's a link, and that S now changes to Z in the pronunciation. It becomes what? Les enfants. You're going to learn more about this later. So, comment vont les enfants? Les enfants, les enfants. All right, comment vont les enfants? Which means how are the children? Comment vont les choses? Les choses means things, things. Comment vont les choses? How are things? Comment vont les amis? Les amis. The fact that the pronoun before this plural words is les tells you that les is a plural pronoun, right? Earlier on it was comment va la journée, so you can have la or lo when it is singular, but when the noun becomes plural, the article to use is what? Is les. I meant to say article, not pronoun. Okay, so comment vont les enfants? Comment vont les choses? How are things? Comment vont les amis? How are your friends? How are your friends? All right, comment vont la nuit? Comment était, I beg your pardon. Now we're going to était, right? Était means how was. Now add anything. Comment était la nuit? How was your night? This is so popular. Never forget this one. Because when you wake up in the morning, meet anybody, they always ask you, comment était la nuit? How was your night? Comment était la nuit? And you can simply say what? Très bien. Fine. No need to start thinking, how do I say my night was fine and my la nuit? No. Just say très bien and save yourself the stress until you get the vocabularies right. All right? Comment était la nuit? Très bien, merci. Comment était la journée? How was your day? Très bien, merci. Comment était le cours d'aujourd'hui? Le cours d'aujourd'hui means today's class. Comment était le cours d'aujourd'hui? Le cours d'aujourd'hui. Today's class. I say très bien, merci. So all of these, très bien, merci works all the time. Très bien, merci, et vous? Fine, thank you. And you? So here's your classwork for today. And the way you do this is make sure you translate these sentences on your own. Don't use dictionary. And when you are done, report it as part of your assignment in your task 1 report. Okay? So you're going to tell us how is work, how is your family, how are the children, how is your health, how was the class, how is school, how are things, how was your journey, how was your exam, how was your day. Make sure you translate all of this. And for all of these questions, there is one answer one response that's always 100% correct. And what is that? Très bien, merci. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this course today. It's been such an awesome pleasure and privilege for me. If you really enjoy this session, it doesn't matter whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on the course, make sure that you like and comment even the responses on the comments. And also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel so that whenever we upload any of our free stuff, you'll be the first to get notified. Thank you all so much. I wish you all the very best and see you tomorrow.